Vasudevasutam Devam Kansachanuramardanam Devaki Paramanandam Krishnam Vande Jagadgurum. We shall see a little more on this very puzzling verse 18th in the chapter 4, where Lord Krishna makes a statement that is hard to understand for most people. He who sees inaction in action and action in inaction is wise. He or she has no more action to be performed. She or he is totally fulfilled. What is this seeing action in inaction or inaction in action? We have seen how Sri Shankaracharya throws light on the erroneous perception of kartrutva, being a doer, going away, vanishing in the case of a wise person. In the 5th of the 9 paragraphs that Sri Shankaracharya writes as the commentary on this verse 18, he himself summarizes what he said in the earlier 4 paragraphs. Let me read that for you. Atracha, here in this verse, karma karmaiva sat karyakaranashrayam karma rahite avikriye atmani sarvaihi adhyastam. The important word in Shankara Darshana has come here, adhyastam. Adhyasa is superimposition. On the rope, a misled person, someone who doesn't see properly, superimposes a snake, adhyasa. Therefore, karma rahite atmani, in the pure self, which has absolutely neither karma nor karma phala, erroneous thinking superimposes. Karyakaranashrayam karma adhyastam. Therefore, as Shankaracharya continues, even learned people, yataha panditaha api aham karomi iti manyate. Like the joke goes, somebody gave a 1 hour talk on how to erase the ego, and at the end said, you know what, nobody has spoken so well on ego and its erasure as I have done today. Panditaha api, though learned, and he spoke so much about ego and its erasure, at the end he said it was he who knew so much about ego. Panditaha api aham karomi iti manyate. Ataha atma samavetataya loka prasiddhe karmani nadi kulasteshu iva vriksheshu gati pratilomyena. The analogy was given. As you are going on a boat, the trees by the bank of the river seem to be moving in the opposite direction. Gati pratilomya. The boat may be moving from south to north, and it seems that the trees are moving north to south. That is pratilomya. If the trees also move in the same direction as the boat does, then it would have been anuloma, anulomya. Vriksheshu gati pratilomyena akarma karmabhavam yathabhutam gati abhavamiva yapashyet. Those who know the science of it, even though they see the trees moving in opposite direction, they will see gati abhavam. They will say, no, that is an illusion. What is moving is our boat, not the trees. In this way, she or he will understand. Further, akarmanicha karyakarana vyapara uparame karmavat atmani adhyaropite. Tushnim akurvan sukam ase iti ahankara abhisandhi hetutvat. Underline just that expression. If someone is not doing anything, but suppose the thought enters, see how I have renounced? Well, everybody is restless in the world. I am the one person who is so quiet. I have actually given up all actions. I have risen to a higher level of consciousness. Aha. In this way, ahankara abhisandhi hetutvat akarmani cha karma yapashyet. So he says, I have renounced. Though otherwise he is pretty close. Hats off to him who has walked away from the world and the worldly matters. But the egoism continues. In his true self, which he should now realize, he is already superimposing the idea of I have renounced. Akarmani atmani kartaram ahankaram adyasyati yapashyet ya evam karma akarma vibhagajnaha. Therefore, it requires a very pure mind, a refined mind, endowed with viveka and vairagya to know what is karma, what is akarma. We must know karma belongs to sharira, mana, buddhi, and atma, our true nature, is ever akarma. Sa buddhiman, most wise, panditaha manushyeshu. Others are called panditas, but they are not truly panditas. They are not truly wise. Panda means wisdom, knowledge. True wisdom does not belong to those who quote from scriptures left and right, those who carry knowledge in their head. Those are really the truly wise people who actually see themselves as not involved in karma or karma phala. Kritsna karma krita. He has as though done everything that needs to be done. There is no pending work for him in his deep understanding. Outwardly, he may have a list of things to do and he may be pursuing them. But his understanding is, I am not bound by karma anymore. Ashubhat mokshitaha kritakrityaha bhavati. Kritakrityaha. The idea of he has done everything that needs to be done is really a sense of utter fulfillment, kritakritya, as though he has done everything that he had to do. Until there are activities going on. Now, this was Shankara's own simple, beautiful summary. If you do not read other paragraphs of Shankara Bhāshya, but just read this paragraph starting Atra cha karma karma iva sat and ending with Krita krityo bhavati ityartaha, you will know what Adi Shankara means or what he says about 4.18. Now there are 4 more paragraphs. We'll see the gist of it. Basically, the Purva Pakshi, the imagined opponent, says, no, there is another meaning to this shloka. Maybe you are not aware of it. Let me tell you. He says to the champion that there is another interpretation. Siddhanti, the champion, just listens. Acha, okay, what is that other meaning? Ayam shlokaha anyata vyakhyata kaischit. Some, very cleverly, the Purapakshi does not say who it is who has said it. Some have said. Yeah. It's like you very nicely say, I have heard that so and so is no more. I have heard that such and such person has resigned from chief minister's position. You don't say who has told you. Maybe it is cooked up by you only. But to avoid any blame on yourself and to avoid getting caught later in some unauthentic reporting, you say, I have heard, without saying from whom, etc. Ayam shlokaha anyataha anyatha vyakhyaatah kaischit katham Nityanam kila karmanam ishwararte anushriyamananam tat phala abhavat akarmani tani uchyante gaunya vritya. In Sanskrit, there are two words. Gauni means secondary and mukhya means primary. So, in the context of Vedika karmas, not Brahmajnana, on the level of Vedika karmas, it is said, of course, in Karma Mimamsa, in that Shastra portion, which throws light on various rituals, whether it is some simple Sandhya Vandana, some Agnihotra, or some Japa, Tapa, Puja, and so on. It is said, whatever is one's duty to perform daily, Nitya Karma, that is to be done to please God, and there is no benefit as such from it. This is the general opinion. Nitya karma is to be done because it is to be done. Don't ask for what. Nitya karma has phala abhava, says the Purva Pakshi. And because it has no phala, and he is going to say in the next couple of sentences, if you don't do them, you are in trouble. It's like taking bath. If you don't take bath, you may feel bad. But by taking bath, there is nothing particular. Take bath, crop your hair, wear some clean dress, all that. That you have to do. Any civilian, any civilized person would do that. Nitya karma of the Vedas is understood on that plane by many. Adi Shankara will clarify later. Anything that is done has a result actually. But to emphasize the kartavyata, it has to be done without worrying about the result. A duty has to be performed because it's your duty. Karyamityeva yat karma kriyate, says 18th chapter. Somebody does something, you ask, why, what, for what are you doing? He just says, it's my duty, I am doing it, full stop, nothing more. So there is a widespread understanding, which actually is not the last word on the matter, that Nitya Karma has to be done to please God, Ishwararthe. And because it has no particular result, if you don't do, there will be a price to pay. Like if some student does not attend classes at a school, some fine is imposed. By attending classes, he is not paid some amount. Oh, you have come to the class, take this 100 rupees. There is no such scheme. If somebody does not attend, there is a fine. Some students in residential schools come 10 days late. And in many residential schools, there is this system. They are fined 500 rupees per day or more. Otherwise, they would just make some pretext. Oh, there was a marriage. Oh, I had fallen sick, and so on. Then discipline of the school will be gone. Therefore, in many schools, after vacation, if students come on time, they are not rewarded. If they don't come on time, if they delay, they are fined. So Nitya karma is like that. Okay, what is the connection between karma and akarma? Nitya karma, in as much as it doesn't bear any fruit, is called akarma. Because something that doesn't give a reward is as good as zero. Karma or akarmani tani uchyante gaunya vritya. In a secondary sense, not to the extent of implying don't do it. No, we must do it. It has its own value. However, since it doesn't give result, tesham cha akaranam akarma. And not doing it, which literally is akarma, brings you pratyavaya. Pratyavaya is certain undesirable results. I already gave the example. Students did not come to the class for 10 days. So if they didn't do anything, why should you penalize them? Yeah, you will, because you are supposed to come. So akarane, that is akarma, pratyavaya phala comes, that is karma. So what gives result? The bad result is karma. What does not give result at all, nitya karma, is akarma. Both are in a secondary sense. Tatra nitya karmani akarmaya pashyet phala abhavat. Therefore, it's possible to see akarma in nitya karma. And the Purvapakshi himself gives an example. There's a cow. Suppose the cow has stopped giving milk. Then someone may call, this is a cow for namesake. It's no more a cow. A cloud that does not shower rains is no cloud at all, in a manner of saying. That is called gauni vritti. Yatha dhenurapi gauhu agauhu iti uchyate kshirakyam phalam na prayachati iti tadvat. So, tata nitya akarane tu akarmani cha karmaya pashyet narakadi pratyavaya phalam prayachati. Somebody did not do nitya karma for a whole month. Some laziness, a wave of laziness came upon him. So superficially, his not doing his duties was akarma. But narakadi phalam, because phala is coming, you may call it karma. Therefore, both ways, nitya karma's doing is akarma. Nitya karma not being done can become karma on the basis of not giving phala or giving phala. So, this is Purvapakshi's view. Now, Siddhanti, in the 7th paragraph among the 9 paragraphs of Adi Shankara's commentary, replies very convincingly. Na etad yuktam vyakhyanam. This kind of vyakhyana, explanation, interpretation, na yuktam, is not proper. Evam jnanat ashubhat moksha anupapattehe. By this kind of knowing what karma gives results and what akarma doesn't give result, or other way, what karma does not give result, what akarma also gives result. This karma akarma understanding does not release you from the basic primary bondage that you have, which is ashubha. While Sri Krishna has said, yajnatva mokshase ashubhat. Iti Bhagavata Uktam Vachanam Badhyeta. Before this 18th verse, in the 16th, Lord Krishna has said, I will tell you what is karma, what is akarma. If you know them very clearly, distinguishing them, you will be freed from all ashubha, inauspiciousness. Katham nityanam anushtanat ashubhat syat namam mokshanam natu tesham phala abhava jnanat. If you perform nitya karma, then certain impurities go away. But by knowing that they do not have phala, you will not get moksha. Nahi nityanam phala abhava jnanam ashubha mukti phalatvena choditam nitya karma jnanam va. If you know that it is to be done for God's pleasure and there is no particular result, that has not been described in the Shastras at any place as release from all inauspiciousness. That jnana makes you be regular in nitya karma. Nahi nityanam phala abhava jnanam ashubha mukti phalatvena choditam nitya karma jnanam va. Nacha bhagavata eva iha uktam. God also has not referred to this nitya karma and doing or not doing of it. Etena akarmani karma darshanam pratyuktam. Therefore, in akarma, in action, this nitya karma context points out to us a karma, seeing karma in akarma. This is replied. Nahi akarmani karma iti darshanam kartavyataya iha chodyate nityasya tu kartavyata matram. He now takes up the issue of how not doing nitya karma can give result, and therefore let us call it karma. He says, nitya alone is to be done. Nacha akaranat nityasya pratyavayo bhavati iti vijnanat kinchit phalam syat. By simply knowing, if I don't do nitya karma, I will have very undesirable, very sorrowful results. By knowing this, you don't get fundamental transformation. Siddhanti makes it clear that this 18th verse is of a high plateau. It is about being freed from the, what perhaps in certain Western religions they call original sin. There's a concept of original sin. From a Vedanta perspective, we look at such expressions when they come from other religions as meaningful. Original sin is you identify with the body. That is the basic sin. And once you have done that sin, papam, 100 other things follow. So here, Sri Shankaracharya says, this idea by not doing nitya karma, pratyavaya bhavati, that helps you in the vyavahara bhumi, what you must do daily, what you must avoid and so on, but not, it doesn't give you that high level benefit of being totally free. Napi nitya akaranam neyatvena choditam napika karma iti mitya darshanat ashubhat mokshanam buddhimatvam yuktata krishna karmadi karmakritvadi cha phalam upapadyate stutirva. So without going into every word, Sri Krishna has said karmani akarma. That doesn't refer to the level of this nitya karma, achara, or not performing. Mityajnanam hi sakshad ashubha rupam. This misunderstanding that this topic refers to nitya karma, performance or non-performance of it, that is false knowledge. And that false knowledge itself is source of much inauspiciousness to you. So if the question is asked, kutaha anyasmat ashubhat mokshanam? So if this misunderstanding about nitya karma is talked of as that knowledge which liberates you, that is simply impossible. What you have talked about nitya karma is false knowledge. And that false knowledge frees you from bondage. What are you talking? It's like saying darkness will remove darkness. See, kartrutva bhavana is a kind of darkness. And all this confusion about nitya karma, this mithyajnana, is another darkness. So please do not say that darkness will remove darkness. That is the punchline in this paragraph. Nahi tamaha tamasaha nivartakam bhavati. Tamasaha nivartakam, remover of darkness, cannot be another darkness. Light alone can eliminate darkness. Now Siddhanti has answered the Purapakshi, but Purapakshi says, Nanu, in the 8th paragraph, karmani yat akarma darshanam, akarmani va karma darshanam, natat mityajnanam, kim tarhi gaunam phala bhava abhava nimittam. You called my interpretation of nitya karma and nitya karma akaranam, non-performance. You called it Mityajnana. It is not Mityajnana. It is also precious knowledge. You see, that is the problem with karma kandis. They get so attached to karma and various forms of rituals and so on. Their mind goes round and round in that domain only. And any negative comment about karma is a red rag to the bull. The bull gets more wild. Already the bull is coming towards you, and you lift a red cloth. As the idiom goes, red rag to the bull. The bull gets very wild. What? What is this red cloth? The bull perhaps was running in some other direction. It will run straight towards you and attack you. So, karma asakta people, those who are very attached to work and work only, are not ready for some higher contemplation. They don't like this. They say, Natad mityajnanam. All I said was, Nitya karma is to be done for God's pleasure. There is no particular phala, reward in it. All the same, not doing it will bring serious repercussions. This is what I said. Where did I call my understanding of Nitya karma? Nityajnana? You called it false knowledge, says this Purvapakshi. Siddhanti answers there onwards. No, hold on. I did not unnecessarily add a description to what you are saying. Karma akarma vijnanapi gunat phalasya ashravanat. If you study the Shastras, there is no benefit accruing to you from simply knowing what is karma, what is akarma on the plane of this nitya karma. Na api shrutahani ashruta parikalpanayam kaschid vishesha upalabhyate. You are basically shrutahani, that is forgetting the Vedic studies that you have done, and ashruta parikalpana. You are imagining what the Vedas have never said. So you read the Vedas, close the book, and then forget what was said there, but your mind goes to things which were not said at all. That is your problem, O Purvapakshi, says the Siddhanti. Swashabdhena api shakyam vaktum nitya karmanam phalam nasti akaranachya tesham narakapatah syaditi. Swashabda. So this statement, this daring statement you have made is your own parikalpana, your own imagination. To say Nitya karma has no phala at all. Who says no phala? Nitya karma brings phala. Who says taking bath has no benefit? Once you take bath, you feel so fresh. Who takes combing the hair has no phala. Once you comb the hair, everything becomes orderly. You are happy about it. People are happy about it. There is phala. And you say Nitya karma has no phala. I take bath, there is absolutely no benefit out of it. But for my mother's sake, I take bath. If somebody says, he is wrong. The 10-year-old boy takes bath, and of course, his mother is telling him, don't come to breakfast without taking bath. And so he goes and takes bath. So he may make a statement, actually, I don't want to take bath. But Amma doesn't give me breakfast unless I take bath. So it is for pleasure of my mother that I take bath. I don't see any benefit in taking bath. The boy is wrong. When he takes bath, he really will feel fresh, clean. And to thus say, Nitya karma has no phala is your statement, Swashabda. Same way, Akarana, not performing Nitya karma, by itself brings Naraka, is false. In fact, in the Karma Vibhaga, this has been clarified by Adi Shankara in great detail in his commentary on Taittiriya Upanishad. But the gist of it is this: while it is believed on a certain level that Nitya Karma, Agnihotra Adi, one doesn't do, then papam, sin will come. It is believed like that. Not doing brings papam. Just like somebody doesn't comb the hair, leaves it disheveled, and one day he gets some worms or some itching on the head, all this. Really speaking, it is not the result of not doing. There are processes already in motion. It's not that one's skin is, some metal or something. Even metal, because of exposure to moisture, starts rusting. Our skin, our body has a lot of biological processes going on. So by not taking bath, by not combing the hair and so on, not putting some oil or some kind of substance that is protective, it's not the not doing that leads to disease. What leads to disease is some biological processes, exposure to the atmosphere where there may be some bacteria, there may be some microorganisms in the air, they will attack. Therefore, akarma doesn't lead to pratyavaya by itself. Akarma, this nitya karma performance would have cleaned up, prevented those processes, those things which were already in motion, as the expression goes, force at work. There were forces at work, and regular nitya karma would stop them. What are those forces at work in the theme proper? Our own dushkarma. We have done wrong things in the past. All of them are rising with vengeance to teach us a lesson. But if we do nitya karma, in modern times, if we do a lot of namasmarana, if we do Sri Ram, Jai Ram, Jai Jai Ram, 4 days to go for Ramanavami, therefore, I guess it's appropriate I mention Ramanama, Sri Ram, Jai Ram, Jai Jai Ram. So, our Purva Vasanas, the results of our past actions are rising. And by saying Sri Ram, Jai Ram, Jai Jai Ram, they are as though shown the door. Don't come here. Even early morning, 4:30, one is doing Sri Ram, Jai Ram, Jai Jai Ram. The vasana, coffee vasana rises. Let me have some coffee, then continue this. Sri Ram, Jai Ram, Jai Jai Ram. You go on, and it weakens those extrovert tendencies. Whereas if you are just reading newspaper or if you are just sitting idle, when there is a certain vasana rising, the vasana will prompt you to the action which corresponds to that vasana. Therefore, a whole lot of religious activities, when done properly, weaken and put to the background the negative tendencies. Shankaracharya is very clear, and Swashabdena api is a real punch on the Purapakshi. You bring your own words and freeze them as the final truth. The Shastras would have said, do Nitya Karma for Parameshwara Priti. That doesn't mean it has no phala at all. It's not a cow that doesn't give milk. Rather, it's a cow which does give milk. So, Narakapata Syatiti, both those are outrageous statements on your part. Tatra vyajena paravyamoharopena rupena karmani akarmaya pashyet ityadina kim. So, why do you go and say all this just for the sake of saying? Therefore, it only creates confusion in others. Do not be confused, do not confuse others, says Siddhanti. It's all vyamoha. Tatra evam vyachakshānena bhagavata uktam vakyam loka vyamohartam iti vyaktam kalpitam syat. Therefore, don't confuse them and don't imagine that the words of Bhagavan Sri Krishna are meant to confuse people. No. On the contrary, Bhagavan Krishna's words are to save us. Nacha etat chadma rupena vakyena rakshaniyam vastu. This supreme self-knowledge doesn't require or does not involve fallacious statements. These statements are sacred. These statements are artha garbhita, as we say. They are pregnant with deep significance. Therefore, chadma is deceitful. Please don't, for heaven's sake, imagine that Sri Krishna is making deceitful statements. No way. Na api shabdantarena punah punaruchyamanam subodham syadityevam bhaktum yuktam. Do not either imagine that Lord Krishna goes on repeating certain things, because there are places where it is said a lie repeated 100 times becomes truth. The whole world is into propaganda, singly, individually, and even collectively. Sometimes a whole country would somehow do propaganda that all is well with them. But one day the truth comes out. Therefore, punah punaha uchyamanam subodham syat. Don't say that. Lord Krishna has given due recognition to karma. Karmanyevadhikaraste iti atrahi sputataraha uktortaha na punarvaktavyo bhavati. The praise due to karma has been done, and that need not be given again and again. Punarvaktavyaha na bhavati. Sarvatra cha prashastam bodhavyam cha kartavyameva. If anyone has great devotion to one's duties, that we admire, we definitely praise it. Prashastam. Na nishprayojanam bodhavyam ityuchyate. Did he not say, did Krishna not say, karmano hyapi bodhavyam? By saying one must know, one has to know what is one's duty. He said that in the earlier verse. Karmanaha api bodhavyam cha akarmanaha vikarmanascha bodhavyam gahana karmano gatihi. Was a shloka 3 or 4 shlokas before. So karma has to be known for what? Nishprayojanam iti uchyate? No. If performing duty was utterly useless, Lord Krishna would not have said these things. Nacha mityajnanam bodhavyam bhavati. But false knowledge connected with performing nitya karma has to be taken as akarma because it doesn't give result. All your own statements. That is not what is to be known. Tat pratyupastapitam va vastu abhasam. Vastu abhasam. So, neither false knowledge nor vastu abhasa. That is superimposing truth in what is a void, what is mere absence, will take us anywhere. This is not to be known. The bodhavyam goes with the last sentence also. Tat pratyupastapitam vastu abhasam va bodhavyam. We are never asked to understand what is superimposed as truth on what actually is untrue. In other words, to simplify matters, Shankaracharya comes down heavily on ill-conceived notions about Vedic teachings. Now, concluding this a little long commentary, Adi Shankara says, Na api nityanam akaranat abhavat pratyavaya bhava utpattihi. It is true that if you don't do nitya karma, some harmful effects will take place. But don't hurry up in your understanding. It is not the non-performance alone. As we said, not taking bath. Not taking bath is a karma abhava. You didn't do anything. You didn't do something wrong. That is something positive. Let's say, suppose you go and hit somebody. Suppose you stole something. Suppose you told a lie. These are all, you did something wrong. Here, when it was time to take bath, you went on reading the morning newspaper second, third time. So, not taking bath is in a way zero. From zero, how something, positive come about. So, Shankara says, on a deeper level, the Vedas have clarified. When you don't do Nitya Karma, it's like not taking medicine. That's even a better example. When you don't take medicine, and then your sugar rises, or your BP rises, or your some other fever rises, don't say, you see, by absence of some doing, like I didn't take tablets, these have come. The fever, the sugar, the BP have other factors in you which are causing. If you had taken the medicine at the right time, it would have controlled it. So not taking the medicine by itself did not lead to rising of the temperature, fever and so on. So nityanam akaranat abhavat bhavotpattihi iti na uchyate na vaktum shakyate, can't say. And Shankara directly goes to Chandogya Upanishad. Na asataha vidyat, that is Geetā 16th. Next one is Chandogya. Nasato vidyate bhavo, nabhavo vidyate sataha, ubhayoropi drashtontastu anayoho tattva bihi. 16th verse in the second chapter. A very thought-provoking verse interpreted in different ways by different Siddhantas like Vishishta, Advaita, Dvaita, and Advaita, and so on, each having their own charm. From asat, from absence, sat cannot come. Asataha bhavaha na bhavati. And Uddalaka in chapter 6 of Chandogya has said very clearly to his son Shvetaketu, Katam asataha sat jayeta. It's only a Bhranti. From a hat, the magician goes on bringing rabbits. 1, 2, 3, 4. The spectators are watching with disbelief. Oof, it's an empty hat. He made it upside down, nothing fell from it. And this is the 7th rabbit that is coming out of the empty hat. But as you know, it is an appearance. The rabbits are somewhere, and the magicians have their own tricks. We do not know how they come. To our eyes, they seem to be coming from the hat. Likewise, to our eyes, non-performance of Nitya Karma seems to be causing very bad results, including Naraka Prapti. But Naraka Prapti literally, technically, is not from akarana, non-performance. It is because of some papam that we had committed. If we had done Nitya Karma, the Papa Karma's results would have been checked. There are already worms in my stomach. They are going to cause unbearable pain to me. But I take medicine, the medicine kills those worms, right? Therefore, don't say the pain at midnight was caused by non-taking of medicines. That's incomplete knowledge. Asataha sajjanma pratishedat. Asataha sadutpattim bruvata. Asadeva sadbhavet. Satchapi asadbhavet. Ityukcham syat. If you still insist No, 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 no. I have read Shastras better than you have. It is very clearly said in the Shastra. If you don't do Nitya Karma, your daily duties, that not doing will lead to very unhappy consequences. That would be saying asataha sadutpatti. It's saying something comes out of nothing, not acceptable. Asataha sadutpattim bruvata asadeva sadbhavet. Nothing becomes something. Asat eva sadbhavati iti uktam syat. And somewhere else, something turns into nothing. Is also not possible. In modern science too, so far, after all this research, they have said at most matter can transform into energy. You cannot say matter became nothing. Even E equals mc squared says m, certain mass, turns into certain amount of energy. Mass, which is sat, becomes energy, which is also sat. In good old days, before this convertibility of mass and energy was found out, as all of us know, there were two laws. The law of conservation of matter, the law of conservation of energy. Matter can go from solid to liquid, liquid to gaseous form. Matter can change in its appearance, but matter was indestructible in its own domain. Energy was indestructible. Kinetic energy could change into heat. Some other time, kinetic energy, you take a stone and lift it by 10 feet. Kinetic energy involved in the movement of that stone gets stored in the stone as potential energy. Drop it, it comes down. Again, potential energy changes into kinetic energy. Light changing into sound, or sound changing into some electricity. You speak into a microphone, sound energy makes a certain, in a simple model of the microphone, diaphragm move back and forth, and that leads to some current flowing around a magnet. And that is called conversion of sound energy, which is vibrations in the air, compression and expansion, into electricity. So those instruments or tools which convert one form of energy to another are called transducers. Microphone is a transducer. Loudspeaker does the opposite. Electricity flows through the loudspeaker in certain variation, and accordingly sound is produced. Electricity to sound, sound to electricity, various forms of transducers are talked about. But nowhere it is said electronics has found a new instrument. You put so much energy, it goes into nothingness. No. Or the other way around also. Bring a ton of nothingness, a ton of nothingness in a manner of saying. Bring a ton of nothingness and put into this instrument. We have recently created it. Out comes 10 grams of aluminium, 2 grams of gold. From nothingness, gold comes? Impossible. Likewise, asataha sadutpattihi mithya, sataha asadutpattihi api mithya, satchapi asad bhavet. Sat becomes asat or asat becomes sat. Impossible. Shastras have never said it. Tatcha ayuktam sarva pramana virodhat. All the pramanas, means of knowledge, will be contradicted if you say such a statement. And moreover, if Nitya Karma has really, literally no phala, as you wanted to say, Shastra would never ask you to do something which literally, absolutely has no phala. Shastra doesn't do that. Shastra doesn't ask you to do unnecessary things. Karma vidadhyat shastram. Shastram nishphalam karma na vidadhyat. Vidhana is imposing, is instructing, go do this. No, Shastra would not do it. In Kathopanishad Bhāshya, Adi Shankara says, Mata Pitra Sahasibho Hideshna Shastrena Uktam Atmaikatvam Sarvaihi Jneyam Palaniyam, something like that. Shastra is more of a well-wisher to us than thousands of our parents. Because parents are regarded as great hitaishis, right? Dukkasya cha, dukkha swarupatvat. Simply doing something with no result at all is dukkham. And Shastra never asks you to do such things. Dukkasya cha buddhi purvakataya karyatva anupapattehe tadakarane cha narakapata abhyupagamat anarthaya eva ubhayathapi karane akarane shastram nishvalam kalpitam syat. To summarize it all, oh dear Purvapakshi, all that you say boils down to doing also is meaningless, not doing also is meaningless. In other words, Shastras are asking us to do things which are useless, and not doing them also is useless. Shastram nishphalam kalpitam syat. Please do not insult scriptures like that. Swa abhyupagama virodascha. Your own abhyupagama, taking things for granted. You are presuming certain things get negated or contradicted. That is, on one hand you say nitya karma has no phala, and then you say to understand it will bring moksha. That about which you understand it has no result, and that understanding gives you liberation from ahankara, ashubhad muktihi. This is abhyupagama virodha. Abhyupagama virodha means abhyupagama is you presume. And then at the end you say, no, that's not coming true. Abhyupagama virodha. You presume that a certain vessel has milk. And you are preparing some sweet, and at certain time you have to pour a glass of milk. And you take that vessel where you presumed there was milk, and saying, Jai Shri Ram, you put that. You didn't know that it was some turpentine, not milk. When that preparation gets ready, no one can eat it. So what you presumed turned out to be totally wrong. Therefore, Purvapakshi, if you interpret karmani akarma as a scenario where nitya karma deserves to be called akarma because it doesn't give results, and you say that understanding gives you great benefits like moksha, you will see that it doesn't. First of all, it's wrong understanding. First of all, it is not milk, it is turpentine. Right? And secondly, you presumed here is milk. I'm going to prepare a nice sweet and serve it to my guests who are coming in the evening. It will not turn out to be a good sweet at all. Swa abhyupagama virodascha nityam nishphalam karma ityabhyupagamya moksha phalaya iti bruvataha. First of all, you say nitya karma is nishphalam, useless, and then you say moksha. Moksha will happen by this understanding. No. What we have said is karma belongs to upadhis, not to the pure self. So if we let go of false identification, we will no more see ourselves to be active, while actually the sense organs or the mind or the organs of action are active. in their action, we don't superimpose action on ourselves. That leads to moksha. As the simple example goes, you stand before a concave mirror, and if you mistake that obese figure over there as your form, you will be sad. By knowing, by jnana, that obese figure over there is because of the concave mirror. I am not like that. I am fit. My measurements are okay. By that jnana, will you not be freed from agitation? You just smile. It looks very funny, huh? You just move on. You don't get agitated. Therefore, friends, the practical significance of this whole discussion is by Atma Jnana, you will be freed from all stress, strain, tension, agitations, anxiety, etc. Atma Jnana, to know oneself as the Akartra Atma, is the panacea, is the Ramabana, is the arrow of Rama towards all kinds of ailments, physical or mental, in human life. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya.